There's 3 days now to go for the third test between India and England, and whilst conventional wisdom usually suggests that a winning team or a team that has won recently should probably not be looking to make too many changes, that doesn't seem to be the route that the Indian cricket team will be taking. In fact, in this video we're going to discuss one particularly big change that could be coming for the team in the third test. And of course, there has been plenty of speculation regarding Jasprit Bumrah and whether or not he will be rested in the third test, as has been rumored. We've got an update on that as well. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. But first, let's take a look at the one big change that we do think is going to be happening, one that many of us even predicted would be happening. KS Bharat may very well be dropped once again. Now, it is worth noting that KS Bharat hasn't exactly been at his best in the 7 test matches that he's played. In fact, his form has been pretty disappointing for the most part. He's only averaged about 20, hasn't got a single 50 in this point in time. And when he was dropped previously, it was for Ishan Kishan. This time around, it most likely looks like Dhruv Jurel, who's the only other wicketkeeper bat in the squad, will be the one coming in the third test. And that's a pretty big move when you consider that Jurel will be making his debut. That means that India were more comfortable handing a debutant his first cap rather than sticking with KS Bharat, who, to be fair, hasn't really looked all that impressive during his time in the Indian team so far. Yes, he's performed well domestically and his glove work has been praised by many, but at the international level, he's yet to set the stage on fire. And even if you look past his limited runs, there hasn't been anything to suggest that he is someone who could potentially hold down that position for the long term. In fact, this isn't even the first time he's going to be dropped. The Indian team management had brought in Ishan Kishan during the West Indies tour, but given the fact that he's taken a break from the game now due to mental reasons, Bharat was handed a comeback, but that comeback too looks to have been done at least for the time being. Now, the other big news that we were discussing, will Jasprit Bumrah be rested? Well, there were news reports previously suggesting that Bumrah would be rested in the third test, and it is worth noting that he was pretty impressive during the second test. In fact, many would argue that he was the key differentiator between India winning the test and potentially not winning that particular test. His skill with the ball shown. But the BCCI is also very keen to ensure that his workload is managed, because again, Bumrah made his comeback last year after a very long injury layoff, and the BCCI would doubtless be keen to ensure he doesn't get injured once again, which is why there is talk of resting him, but this time not for the third test but the fourth test instead, which will be taking place in Ranchi. Now, the logic behind choosing to rest Bumrah for that particular test instead of the third test is pretty simple. The BCCI wants to ensure that he is fit and ready to go for the 5th and final test, because there is a belief that that could potentially be a deciding test. Also, it's worth noting that resting your top player when the series is level as it is right now perhaps might not be the best move, and it would maybe make more sense to rest Bumrah after India potentially can get a 2-1 lead at Rajkot. Now, of course, plans may change if, let's say, they don't end up winning at Rajkot, but right now I would say that this makes more sense. Play Bumrah for one more test match. He was absolutely terrorizing the English batters in the last match. Play him for one more game, potentially get that 2-1, and then and only then should you consider resting him, because let's face it, we know that he's going to be playing the entirety of the IPL come what may. So you need to be resting him, and you need to be resting him in this particular test series. The third test may be not the right time to do it. Even they apparently agree, which is why it's going to be happening in the fourth test. And that's it for this video. We've given you some interesting team news on what it is you could expect the Indian team to do or not do come the third test. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think KS Bharat is being hard done by? Do you think going with Dhruv Jurel now is a fair call? Do you think Bumrah should be rested in the third test instead of the fourth? You can let us know all of that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well, and stay tuned for more. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.